How you doing today, guys? Welcome back to my third video on Train Fever, and I will continue to relay some information that I know about Transport Fever. And I'll probably do that first, and we'll just get things off pause. The latest video I looked at from the beta, they did show some ships, and the ships, the models look good. One thing that I noticed is the riverways and waterways. They're not that much bigger in some places than what you see right here. They're a little bit bigger than this, but not too much though. And so when you get ships passing through there, they actually, they'll just go right through each other. So, I think there is a map editor or something. I heard him mentioning something about that. Either that or maybe he was just anticipating modding coming out. But I think the map editor comes with the game though. And so you might be able to custom make something that's a little bit better so you don't have that much trouble. Of course, that's assuming you're even worried about the ships. The models and such look good, except for the very first one. It's not that the model doesn't look good, but the problem with that is the flags are way too big, and they don't really look like flags. They look more like you just ran a piece of cardboard up a flagpole. They're rigid as hell. So yeah, it's maybe something modding will take care of at the time. But I think that was just on the very first ship. The second one that I saw had much smaller flag on it. It wasn't really noticeable. But yeah, so using ships on the default maps that they have, it's, except for maybe in certain situations, it's probably not going to look as appealing just because of the collisions and stuff. It just don't really look right. Now, I did see confirmation on what I was telling you about the ability to cross tracks at like 90-degree angles and all kinds of weird stuff like that. And you could say, take this track and just take it straight across the other one, and yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. I actually saw him do that. And for the train stations, the upgrade abilities on that, it appeared like it was just as simple as clicking on it, and then you would have some options here to upgrade, like how many tracks or the length of the platform or whatever. And it would auto bulldoze any buildings in the way. You wouldn't have to do that beforehand and trying to, you wouldn't have to figure all that out. Have not seen aircraft yet, but I figure that'll probably be coming before too long. I'll get a look at that. Alright, but now let's start focusing a little bit more on this video here in Train Fever. So now, while you guys' eyes were gone, in between the videos, I added another cargo line here. And as I said, that's, it's ideal to, you want to probably try and supply at least 2 to 3 towns per distribution point. That way, as you can see, I've got a lot of production up here waiting. As a matter of fact, I should really probably upgrade this coal train. I'm trying to think let me check how old is he. He's 17 years old, so that means I won't be able to auto replace it in a while, so I'll probably have to manually do that. Yeah, my FPS died when I zoomed out. There it comes, it's coming back. Or it's thinking about coming back. Yeah, sometimes Fraps does this. It has a little bit of... Okay, now it's coming back. Okay. Yeah, because every once in a while I have an issue where I just have to make a cut in the video and restart Fraps, because and that looks like what it's doing right now. So I'm going to have to make a cut right here, and then I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, welcome back, guys. Let's see, hopefully it will work a little bit better now after I restarted things. Alright, now, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was talking about my coal. And we can see here, now this is something I mentioned once before with my cargo, is one way we know we really don't have enough capacity is when you see that the coal, they've decided on their own that they're going to start moving stuff on the road and not wait for the train. So that's a big time indicator that, yeah, you don't have enough capacity. So what I need to do here is I need to try and see if I can get that coal train back over to the depot without too much fuss. But I don't know, that might be, oh wait, that's him right there. Turn around. Okay, now let's see if I can execute this. Without too much difficulty. He's got to wait for this guy to move out of the way. Okay, so yeah, he should get a free run there, because this is perfect. He's on his way back up to the iron ore. Alright, so while he's getting in there, so as I said, I created a new facility up here, but what really I'm going to start with on this is I think it's time to make my first passenger line. Because we've got over 3 million in the bank, so now would be a good time. And probably Boise Concord. That's probably where I want to go. Let's see if I can get zoomed back in without crashing my computer, though. Alright, so now let's check where are the residential areas. They're right here, which is fairly good, so that way I don't have to build a station on the other side of town. Now, where am I going to try and put the station? Let's stick it. We'll just make a road that goes around there, and then we'll stick the station up over here. Of course, and that's one handy thing about this game, Train Fever, that surprisingly, in some ways, is a little easier, and you could argue whether it's better or not, than Transport Fever, is you don't have to worry about a radius of effectiveness or a catchment area. Whereas in Transport Fever, each station, it only impacts a certain zone around it. And in this game, that's not really an issue. However, as I said, anytime you've got a station where you're expecting, well, actually, as far as the tracks are concerned, okay, how many towns would Boise be connected to? Let's see, I have to do this very slowly because we have PS. So possibly San Bernardino, Pueblo, Bridgeport, those are all other cities that Boise would possibly be connected to later on. So yeah, let's go with the full 5-track layout here. And then I need to decide what's the best way to get to Concord. And you know what, let's pause this, because my train has made it and is sitting here. Let me see, let's just Yeah, let's just can the whole thing. And let me see, let's go with this. Alrighty, and then we're going to go with this. Now this is actually primarily an iron ore car, but we're going to switch it to coal because it's bigger than the other one. It actually costs less to outright buy it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go with 6. That's, you know what, let's go with 7, just to make sure you should be able to handle the demand. I can't remember. I think that is number 1. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's number 1. Okay. Okay, so now that we got him set to go somewhere again, we'll just unpause it. Alright, so well, before I figure out how I'm going to get tracks from Boise to Concord, let's figure out where the station needs to be. And this is going to highlight one of the issues in train fever that is largely fixed in transport fever. Okay, so the residential areas are kind of on the other side of town, but they come all the way over here, so I could just make the station over here. That should be fine. Alright, let's make a road over here. Okay, so how many towns is Concord going to be plucked onto? Well, I can tell you right now, we wouldn't stick it onto Waco. No way. But San Bernardino, maybe. Murfreesboro, probably. So it's going to be, yeah, let's just give it a 3-track station. That should be adequate. And the reason why I say no way to Waco is because that's just completely on the opposite side of this kind of low mountain formation right here. Now, Murfreesboro is a little bit too, but Waco, see, I could just make tracks over San Bernardino, and that's a fairly short hop to Waco from there, so if passengers want to go there, I mean, that's how they'd get there now. To Murfreesboro, I think that'd be too long of a workaround, so I'd probably work my way up around here. And the ground does look like it gets lower, so I'd probably wiggle my way around there to Murfreesboro. Although, now keep in mind, if you're interested in really learning about train fever rather than transport fever, now I don't think that is a mechanic that people wanting to go to Waco will travel to San Bernardino and then go to Waco. I don't think they're smart enough to do that. If you just have a route between San Bernardino and Concord, I think only people wanting to go back and forth between those two towns will go there. Not 100% sure on that, but I think that's the way it is. So just keep it in mind. Don't bet on, you know, people, everybody going from Concord to San Bernardino and then wanting to go to Waco. I won't count on that because I don't think this system's that intelligent. Now, my understanding is in transport fever that does work. Matter of fact, I know it works for cargo. I mean, it's kind of a key to how cargo works in transport fever. Passengers, I believe it does as well. Okay, so now I was going to say about highlighting one of the main flaws, though, is because you can't cross-track at a 90-degree angle or anything like that. When you build track like this, it's almost like building a fence between this station and that station. So what we have to do is probably build a track over here, go around there, and then would side up to this then we've got this getting in the way, so I'd have to make a crossover to this track. And then I could just make a side track, say up to about here, and then branch off. And it'll be easier to show you. I'll just start making a track and I'll show you. I mean, it's a little bit of a hassle and train fever, your limitations they put on you about crossing tracks. Alright. What? What the hell? Train alignment collision with what? Okay. I'm not exactly sure what the hell is going on here. What in the world? Well, okay, this is kind of new. I have no idea why that is not working. I still have money, right? Yeah, I've got money. It's... Okay, well, let's try to take it off of that one. No, that won't work either. Well, I don't think I've ever encountered that before. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit freakish how that's happening. Okay, so let me see what I can do here. That one will work. That one won't. Okay, so I guess I'll just use this one. We'll figure that out later. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Okay, so let us cross the road. Go around here. Now this is this is going to be a long enough route that you may eventually want a somewhat high-speed train, so you don't want to turn the angles of the track too sharply, because if you make them too sharp, then trains have to slow down, and if it's that sharp, then they have to slow down to like 60, I think it's like 60 kilometers. And I think I'll have to wait for him to get out of the way before I continue this. But yeah, see, like an angle like this, that's as sharp as that is, anything going more than 60 would have to slow down to make that sharp of a turn. Of course, now right now my top speed of my trains are only like that one, I think it was 45, so I don't even have trains capable of going that fast yet. But sooner or later, you will. Okay, so now let's make a crossover there. And then let's make a branch out there. Up there. Yes, has pared my money back a bit though. I'm down to 1.5 mil. Alright, then we'll hook up to the middle one there. Okay, there we go. So see how complicated that was trying to navigate these tracks that are already in place. Now I need to put some signals. And then we don't have anything else, so we don't worry about that. And stick a signal on there. Okay, so that should be the proper signaling, I'm pretty sure. So now we just need to put a train on. Well, okay, actually not quite. There's a little bit more we need to do. Now right now I only have one depot, so okay, so how am I going to get trains? No, actually, I think it's... Yeah, that's simple enough. That's simple enough, actually. I think, or not. Let me see here. It does make it. Just barely. Alrighty, there we go. Now you need to be careful and really zoom in when you're placing your signals, or else, because it's real easy to accidentally put it on the wrong track or put it facing the wrong way. So you need to pay attention to what you're doing in that regard as well. Okay, let's create the line. See, we still don't have that many options, but we want the fastest one available, and that's this one. That'll be the general, which 45 kilometers, that's not very fast, but it will be getting better before too long. Okay, now this is another thing you need to figure out is how many cars do you want to stick on a brand new untested passenger line? I mean, for me, it's usually, say, 3. I mean, because if you put on less than 3, then you're really borderline if you can even make a profit, even if it does work, just because of the expense of the train. But if you put more than that on, and it turns out not to be an effective line, well, then you're wasting a lot of money on maintenance. I mean, so what I like to do, like, tack on a couple of the big ones, and then I'll stick on one of these smaller ones, so it's a little bit less maintenance and a little bit less cost. Alrighty, so let's get on line 6. Alrighty, and he should figure that out on his own. However, now we have already established that cargo seems to be the way to go if you want to reliably make money, assuming there's enough of it on the map to look for. And on this map there is, so we've pretty well developed this area, its cargo potential, but we want to keep looking at other areas, and we have one right here. As a matter of fact, I think there's actually, I think I checked this before, I think there's actually 2. We have 2 oil refineries. And, well, wait, how many? I can tell, are both of those being supplied? Okay, now here's the other one down here. And 2 separate oil wells. So, I mean, this is just begging to be developed right here. However, it does cost money, and I did run myself down to 1.2 million making that passenger line. So, it might be better if I just wait a little while. Matter of fact, I probably really... Well, actually, let's look at it. Are any of those close enough together? See, this is so close together. I don't know. Do I want to use a train? Although, honestly, I don't know if it's any farther away than these 2 are, and I used a train for that. Well, one determining factor to decide if you want to use a train or not is you got to figure out, well, how much production do I expect this oil well to eventually get up to? And that depends on, well, how many towns are you going to supply from the distribution point that the oil well is supplying, which would be this one right here. And to do that, I'd need to figure out, well, do I want to develop both of these or just one? I mean, probably what I would do is I would supply Evansville and Bridgeport from this facility right here. And then I could supply, say, Pueblo and Chattanooga from this one here. So I think it's reasonable to develop both of them. But probably I'd want to do this one first, though, because it's closest to the two towns I want to get to first. Now we have more cargo going up and down here, so I don't know what I want to supply Oklahoma City from over there. Where is the actual production facility? It's here, right there. Well, I mean, I'd probably have to make treks around this high ground. But, man, I don't know. It's kind of close, actually. I think to which one would actually be closer. It's probably still this one, but it's about the same. So, yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. But, yeah, that's probably the eventual goal, though. Okay, now, has our train found its way? Yes, it has already found its way up to the station and on its way back. I doubt he picked anybody up on that run. It usually takes longer than that for people to show up. As a matter of fact, let's speed up time a little bit. Let me double check how long has this video been going. I've actually been going about as long as I usually like to go for one video. So I'll probably be wrapping this up pretty quick here. And actually, one way to tell, I mean, if your line is going to get businesses, are there, because you can physically see the people will be walking to it. There are peoples walking in that direction. Now, let's see if they go into the station. Yeah, because I don't think there's nothing else on the street to really be going to, so yeah, there are people going in, so there's going to be some business. Oh, there's more coming from that way too. Well, goody, so it looks like there might be a dozen people or more by the time he gets here. Yeah, so that's one thing to remember. It always takes a few minutes for anybody to show up at a station. I mean, sometimes the first couple trips a train does back and forth will be dry runs. I mean, so this guy is actually doing fairly good that he's going to get some business on this run. I don't think it's not going to be a hell of a lot, I don't think. There will be something. Yeah, right, let's just wait and see. And that's another thing I will note is, let me turn on that sound down a little bit, is you will actually be able to see the passengers inside the train. As a matter of fact, one thing that I was not expecting is you can actually tie yourself to a person, and you can actually see the person's view inside the train. So you can actually be inside the passenger car. And yeah, that was something I had not heard. Kind of surprised me when I saw that. I mean, and I was pretty happy just that you'd be able to see passengers in the train, and you can see them, in their little stage coaches and stuff. So it's got some cool things like that. And okay, let me see. I actually got 8 people. It's actually, I thought more would get there, but yeah, they're coming, so it should be better than that by the next run. Let's check how many people are waiting up here. 5, so yeah, there's 5 there now. Should be a little bit better, so we'll see. it's still early in this line's development, and it does take a little while for me to develop. Alright, so I think I'll wrap that up here. And I'll do a little bit more playing on this game in between this video and my next one, and then probably the next time I come back, we'll do the line. We'll get some of the stuff connected down here, and maybe do another passenger line, because I want to start trying out some more passenger lines, while at the same time though making sure we keep fostering cargo, because that seems to be, that's where the best money is, at least the most reliable money anyway. But alright, thanks for watching this video, guys. As always, if you liked this, if it was helpful, please give it a like, maybe consider subscribing. Thank you very much.